Hello everyone, welcome to Finance with Ruraj, where we discuss critical topics in financial world. I'm Nisha, your host for today's episode, and it's my pleasure to welcome our esteemed guest, Mr. Ranjit Jha, CEO of Ruraj Financials Private Limited. Mr. Ranjit Jha is a seasoned finance professional with over 25 years experience in financial market, asset management, and investment banking. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
So, sir, what are we going to learn today about financial market?
So today we'll touch one of the most critical topic, conversion of physical shares to DMAT and claiming your dividend and shares from IEPF authority.
Sir, why demutualization of physical shares is so important, but people usually don't talk about it? Can you share your thought on this?
So Nisha, I am very surprised to see that there is about still 4 to 5 lakh crore lying unclaimed, and people don't talk about it because they try to do it themselves. They take the help of the professional like chartered accountant or brokers, but even they fail to give some service like this.
That's a staggering figure, but why do you think so many shares are still lying in physical form?
So most of the time the investor is not aware about what is the process, whether he holds the share. Sometimes they lack the technical know-how, and they keep going roundabout from RTA to broker to chartered accountant, which is why they fail to do that.
I see, but why the process is so complex and time consuming? Shouldn't it be simpler for investor?
Great question, Nisha. So SEBI has mandated to convert all the physical shares into DMAT to avoid forgery, theft, all kind of nuisance that can happen with the investment. And it is not very complex. It is a process driven, where your KYC is updated, documents are verified, and then it is sent to RTA, and then after that you get the shares. So in short, it is a process driven work which looks complex, but it is not.
Sir, you emphasize the challenge and complexity of the process. Could you share some example for our listeners for better understand?
So Nisha, let me deep dive in this issue. So there are 7 to 8 different common issues. Number one is name deletion. That the one of the holder is no more. That is one issue. Second issue is IEPF shares going to IEPF. Third issue is your address change. Fourth issue is your KYC. Fifth issue is signature mismatch. Sixth issue is that sometimes you are out of India and you don't know how to get it done. And seventh and most important reason is lack of awareness.
Wow, that sounds like a real challenge. But what inspired Ruraj to enter this space?
So at Ruraj, we are a very customer-centric company, and fundamentally, a lot of investors started approaching us, that we are looking for this kind of a service, we need help. Initially, as a project, we did it almost free of cost. Then we understood, that it requires effort, it requires manual follow-up with the customer, with the RTA, with the company. So that's how we said, let us go that extra mile and help investor to reclaim that money.
That's wonderful to hear. But what makes Ruraj unique in this space?
So the number one uniqueness is that we close the case, we complete the case. So why we are in this space and what different that we do is we have a dedicated team for each and every process. For example, one team is only working on following with the client. One team is only working with the RTAs where they follow up with RTAs. One team is only doing processes. One team is working on the stamp papers. One team is working on the court matters. So we have allocated the team in the different buckets so that communication with the customer is smooth. So transparency at every level. We provide clear communication to our customers that your X folio number has moved from this stage to this stage. We provide written communication, emails, courier, all of those things are flawless at our system. Then we also provide door-to-door services. Our person goes to the customer and pick up the document in most of the cases which is required. Then we also have technology which helps in terms of giving alerts to our employees, who then in turn go to the customer and inform them that we need so and so documents, and that's how we are different in this segment.
Mr. Ranjit, it's clear that Ruraj is committed to simplify the process for its client.
At Ruraj, we believe that every investor deserves access to their wealth without any complications. They should not get stuck due to the procedural issues.
We wrap up this special episode, Finance with Ruraj. Thank you so much, Mr. Ranjit, for being with us and give us your valuable time and give us such an insight about dematerialization of physical shares.
Thank you, Nisha. It's been a pleasure to share our mission and vision on this episode.
Thank you for tuning into today's episode. If you have any question related to dematerialization of physical shares, reach out to Rooraj Financials. Stay tuned.